time it is. Crack open that bottle of wine. Grab your favorite glass, pour a couple of fingers of scotch in it. Get that stick, light it, and blow. It's time to hang with Steel Sharpened Steel after dark.
Okay.
I mean, it's J13.
It is. And I would like to start the show by saying, unequivocally, the views expressed by myself on this show are in no way, shape, form, or fashion related in any sense to the values or the views or the political positions of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I am my own person. And when I'm on this show, I am portraying a particular character dedicated to bringing you the classy, bougie, ratchet news that you like to see. However, I am a very proud, card-carrying, active, and financial member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm very proud of that. I do not dishonor that. I want to make that distinction because you don't know what you might hear tonight, right? And happy Founders Day to all the lovely, devastating divas of DST.
And I'm going to go on ahead and give my shout out. You see that we are equally crimsoned, haberdasheried
Yes.
today.
What did you tell me I was giving Uhura realness?
Yes, you're giving Lieutenant Uhura realness. Shout out to Nichelle Nichols. Yeah, she's touching that earpiece. And she also has that Starfleet Academy issue frock looking most crimson, dipped in the nebula of crimsonosity. And so lots of important deltas in my life. My mother is a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Her cousin, who like shouted me out on my own page, talking about, I guess you can't forget your cousin. And so Tamara DePlanter is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta. Of course, all of the ladies of the Beta Alpha chapter of Delta Sigma Theta at Florida A&M, including our fellow Sharpie and my sister from another Mr. Sharon Letman, all of her line sisters, all of the many ladies at Florida A&M and throughout my life who have been Delta Sigma Theta proud representatives. We are so pleased to honor you today, and I'm going to keep honoring you later this evening when I go mix and mingle with the Century City Alumni chapter after the show. So just wanted to get that out of the way. This is officially an After Dark show, but only because it is likely to get litty tonight just because of the nature of the celebrations in which we are going to be participating. So
Anthony Turner, shout out to your mother. Tell my sorrow I said happy Founders Day. Yep. Don't forget Dr. V.L. Hobbs as well. I want to give a special shout out to my home chapter, Jackson, Tennessee alumni chapter in West Tennessee, holding it down for all of West Tennessee. I want to say very special happy Founders Day to my line sisters. If you happen to be watching, if not, I'm going to record this and play this back for you so you know I shouted you out. And additionally, even though I didn't pledge there, I want to say happy Founders Day to my Spelman sisters, the Eta Kappa chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, because they all around me. And if I didn't say something,
in the ATL,
yes, you get a side out on every side street, right? So shout out to Eta Kappa and to Sigma chapter at Clark Atlanta University.
Awesome way to start the show. I mean, this is January, as we said before, lots of January babies. In fact, I'm going ahead and pre-shout out, because it'll be a post shout out by the time the next show comes around. The ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha, who are celebrating their J15, which is 10 days after my J5 and 2 days after Delta Sigma. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on this month as it relates to the Divine Nine. And so we are happy to be here because, as always, there are people making news. I would like to say, after my J5 celebration. Lots of people were tagging me in the video where Joe Biden gave a lengthy, if somewhat slowly paced shout out to my fraternity brothers. And of course, Kamala Harris also shouted us out. So we do appreciate that. It's nice having members of your organization in the halls of political power. A wonderful speech on the floor today where a member of Delta Sigma Theta shouted out her sorority sisters, rising to the occasion of celebrating the 110th anniversary of this august organization. So again, shout out to all those folks. And to everybody who is enjoying libations or any other things this evening as they celebrate this wonderful organization that has been so impactful to the entire country and indeed the world. So that said, Harry Brown says, say Alpha Z on 1. Yeah, that's right. Alpha Z on 2, say 1, say 2, say you know what to do. Okay, Beta Alpha. Get up. So today, there's been a lot that's happened. Obviously, since the last show, Kevin McCarthy actually was finally voted on to be House Speaker. But I want to bring just something to everybody's attention, just in case it was something that you weren't really considering. 218 votes. That's simple majority in the House. 218 votes. They only have a 4-vote margin over the Democrats, which means he had 5 votes to give if everybody voted lockstep. And that didn't happen. So round after round after round after round. And finally, like in the last 3 or 4 votes, a lot of the hardliners who had been dogged in their determination to deny him the role kind of flipped. He gave a lot of concessions, not the least of which is that any single member of the House can call for a vote of no confidence, which that's not so great, bro.
You do not want to diffuse power like that.
I mean, what are you're doing? You know who would never do that? Who would never? Nancy Pelosi. Is sit your ass. Sit your ass down.
This is a whole mood right here.
I mean, so Kevin McCarthy, you know, don't call it a mandate. But anyway, I digress. So 218 votes. The reason he was able to be elected speaker after literally somebody had to put their hand over the mouth of a fellow GOP member of the caucus and drag him away from punching Matt Gaetz in the grill is because Matt Gaetz finally voted present along with 4 or 5 other people. And so because he voted present, it lowered the threshold of majority. And so Kevin McCarthy was elected Speaker of the House with 216 votes.
Because he couldn't get his people together.
Because he couldn't get 218 together. And it should be said, Hakeem Jeffries had 212 votes from vote 1.
Every time.
Except for 1 vote when a guy was sick.
Right.
Literally. He came
in the hospital. Right.
He came back from the hospital to vote for him the next time. So Hakeem Jeffries had uniform support. And I don't know if any of y'all saw it today, but he had this wonderful speech. And it was a comparison against the Democratic position. And he didn't name the GOP, but he said the Democratic Party is for this, not this, for this, not this. And I didn't realize, I'm embarrassed to say, I didn't realize until he got like to the P's that he was going through the alphabet.
Yes, the ABCs.
And he said, quality access to health care. And then not QAnon. I said, this brother's doing the whole alphabet.
Right. You got the Q. You're like, wait.
I was like, see, he just say oh my goodness. And I went back and watched the whole thing. I said, go on, brother Hakeem. That's Spring 89. That's Spring 89 Kappa Alpha Psi. Just saying. That's my sans. So we are in this very bizarre space where Kevin McCarthy, he's like so confident that he is speaker. He's acting as though like it has control, and he really doesn't.
He doesn't. No.
which is
He
it's
has a
kind of
microphone.
crazy. It's
That's
kind of
it.
crazy, to be honest.
Yeah. And I know we're getting ready to get into the epic cluster that is Santos. But
Miss Santos.
a prelude to that is there were articles going around about how McCarthy is still not purposely or actively getting rid of Santos. Everything from that to, he's supporting him.
Yeah,
And
what was his crime?
Yeah.
For real?
And
Fraud?
I just saw an article and it made perfect sense to me, although I'm not saying this is the actual case, is that he's supporting him because, bruh, you can't lose not nary a vote. And if somebody else comes in, they might not be on his side. So he's taking a sure thing that is a clusterfuck over a potentially positive person that might be smart enough not to be in his favor. So he's just gonna ride this out because he's in there. And he is literally holding the door against all comers.
It's really crazy because up until I think it was today, it might have been yesterday, but the reporting is that they didn't have a whole lot of concrete stuff. Obviously, Brazil is reopening their investigation into his check fraud allegations in their country. Lots of people are upset about George Santos' embellishment of his resume, but reporting yesterday came out that possibly the $700,000 that he loaned to his own campaign, because he said he became independently wealthy through being a good businessman. Apparently, it may be a part of the illegal proceeds of a Ponzi scheme that defrauded people out of $17 million. And what also came out in the New York Times, who might have been a little bit more on their job in 2022, as opposed to doing all this reporting after the brother was elected. But they are now saying that the Republican Party in New York actually did basically a weakness search, or what could have been considered opposition research on Santos, and found so many problems with his personal narrative that 3 out of his 4 campaign persons quit when he said he would not drop out of the race.
I can't be part of this, kind of quit.
That's how scandalous.
Yeah.
That's how scandalous he is. And this is a guy who misrepresented his Jewish heritage. This is a guy who said he was mixed with black.
I miss when? What?
Yes, he's biracial. This is a series of tweets. And let me show you.
Now you can be biracial without being black. Did he say black or did he say biracial?
Correct. So, but here is Mr. Santos at his swearing in ceremony.
Bro.
So
what?
After everything else, he's also low-key perping. Although some people are questioning whether or not that's a white power hand sign. To me, it looks like he's maybe doing the Macarena. But it's really crazy how Kevin McCarthy, when the GOP of New York, the GOP of his district, have called on him to resign. And he's saying he won't resign, except that he said, if 142 people tell me to resign, he will resign. And a whole Twitter storm happened saying, oh, we can do this, 142 people. And then some people were doing the math. They were like, well, is that 2/3 of the Republican caucus in the House? And no, that math is 148. Maybe he's just bad at math. Not evil Jimmy Fallon.
He does look like evil Jimmy Fallon. Put him up again.
Jimmy Fallon.
Bro, do it again.
He is the best Barry Gibb impersonator alive today. So it turns out that he may be referring to the 142,000 people that voted for him to get this seat. And if
I don't know what he meant, but I know what he said.
Right.
What he said was 142 people.
Right. He didn't say K. He tried to fix it to K. No. But here's the bottom line. It's 142,000 people in that district. He didn't win by that much. All of the Democrats who voted for his opponent would get you to like 140. And then you just got to get some pissed off people that he specifically lied to. Some of the people whose money he stole. Some of the people who actually are descendants of Holocaust survivors. It's plenty. in Long Island. Long Island.
Mhm.
It should be no problem to get to 142. I'd love to see that petition get up. It'll be 143 like by brunch.
Right. Right. And
So and this is the GOP. This is the GOP in this country, in the House right now. And we've got them for, well, maybe not Santos for 2 years, but we certainly got Kevin McCarthy-ish for 2 years, thanks to these midterms.
And I would like to say that this is the most clownish that our government has ever been, but it's not.
Mm-mm.
Let's call it pre-1850.
Mm-mm.
Some bullshit going down in the halls of Congress. I mean,
Right.
duels, slap fights, bringing a bucket of urine into the floor, right? Calling people each other out, cussing out each other, fisticuffs, all of this on a weekly basis.
All the time.
And nobody did anything about it because it wasn't a paid position at the time.
Right.
You know, and when you're not getting paid, you can act how you want. Right. And now that they're getting paid, now that they all, Democrats and Republicans, they like to give themselves a raise every year. I expect at a minimum that you don't lie on your resume any more than the people in corporate America lie, which is you get 2 lies, only 2. The rest of it has to at least have started off in the truth. You know, can you do that? And then can you do your job?
He had closer to 2,022 lies.
Right. Well, yeah, there's another K missing right there. Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot. It was a lot going on, not the least of which, and you know, I mentioned Joe Biden before. So Joe Biden had a little bit of a problem with some classified documents this week. First, we had the discovery of 10 classified documents in a locked vault that nobody was missing. But they were looking through the vault. They found that they were classified. They immediately alerted the National Archives, sent them over. Mm-hmm. So now
that is, and I know what you're about to. I think you're about to address the false equivalency.
Well, no, because they found some more.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been doing brunch 3-4 times a day. So
yeah, they found some more documents and a similar situation, not a trove, certainly not mixed in,
not buried with his dead wife.
Yeah, no. It's not too soon, I guess, but because we've already addressed it on the show, but damn. So Joe Biden, I mean, he's 80 years old. So it's not exactly surprising. And it certainly wasn't, kept in a Super Friends lunchbox in a storage closet
right
in his Delaware
cheeseburger stains on it.
Right. It's, and also, not for nothing, he is president of the United States again.
Yes. Yes, we have no way of knowing if he was going to give those back before his term was up, which he would have been within his right to do. And look at the ease with which they were retrieved. Even you need it back. Here you go. I'm not hiding anything. It's just a few. Here you go. Versus you can't look. I'm gonna bar the doors. How dare you? Why are you here? All of the ranting that went on to find box on box on box of files.
Stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks. Yes. Of confidential documents. This is the state of our country right now. And there are going to be calls to impeach Biden behind this. There are going to be calls to impeach Biden. And there are already people saying, yeah, you're right, Mike. The only reason it made news is because we rightfully made so much hay about the Trump situation. And so some pundits on the right came out talking about, Democrats asked for him to resign. No, they just impeached him. I mean, they impeached him twice. That's what they did. They didn't ask for him. They knew he wasn't going to resign.
Right.
So they just impeached him twice. Thank you, Mitch McConnell, for making it impossible for the vote to move forward in the Senate. But might be avoiding a lot of stuff right now had that happened. But we are where we are. And where we are is that this is a stumble that is going to eat up a news cycle or two. And then we're gonna move on to the next manufactured scandal, which might be the debt ceiling, which is coming up on J13. Thankfully, one of the few dates in January that's not a founding date of a
Exactly.
G9.
Right in between them all.
Yeah.
You know, I want to segue into something else. I'm gonna come back to this real quick, but we talk about defunding the police. We've already defunded schools. It's always defunded. You know who needs to be defunded is the 24-hour news cycle.
Oh.
Once we got into having to have news all the time, we started making up news. There was no such thing as checking in on celebrity baby bumps and whatnot until you needed something to report on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I know that's right.
And fact checking took a nosedive when you had to put it on air because you had to keep something going 24/7. It used to be film at 11, a news story at 5 or 6 or whatever, and then another recap later on in the evening. You had all day to fact check and make sure you got it right. Now you got minutes from when somebody tells a lie on Twitter to either take a risk and repeat it or retweet it or fact check it and risk being third or fourth or eighth. And all of that is a problem. All of that feeds into what my friend calls doom scrolling, where you just sit on your phone and you just, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And what is it? I think the statistic is after 10 minutes of doom scrolling, the information that you get in does not keep up with the anxiety that it causes.
Correct.
Right. And so
thank you, Ted Turner, for creating CNN and necessitating the filling of absolutely every second of every single day with content.
He's the real evil in all of this.
I mean, and he doesn't even run it no more. Him and Bernard Shaw. YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Well, hell.
And I love you, Bernard Shaw, RIP. But y'all did that to us. You created this, and
because all you really need is an hour, maybe an hour and a half of news around 8:30, 8:45 on a Friday night, right? Summary. I love, last week tonight with John Oliver, they've got time to find the news, fact check it, call out other people who didn't fact check it, summarize it, and make it funny. Love
exactly. That's a hell of a lot to do, given the plethora of news that is coming at us literally constantly. We are being overrun with news.
Yes.
You can't, it's literally, if CNN had a TikTok feed, in 20 minutes, you would get the 24 hours of news.
True.
Because it'd be broken up into 30-second bits. And at least there would be a funny track. Like it would be, George Santos today said that he'd be willing to resign if there were 142,000 constituents who called for him to resign. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And then you'd be on to the next story. That would be great. We could enjoy the whispers again. So it's a sign of the times that we are in a situation where we are constantly faced with, it makes this show possible. So God bless you. But it is really difficult to imagine now what our political discourse would be if any idiot with a podcast didn't have the potential reach of Joe Rogan to be invited on his podcast just to say nonsense and foolishness.
Right.
It's an absolute stunning change. Any person who wants to say something bad about Joe Biden can get booked on Tucker Carlson. Laura Ingraham.
Mike makes a good point. It's shortened this 24-hour news cycle, shortened our attention span, and so many important stories get lost in the constant shuffle because you don't get a chance to think about something that has happened and then think about it again the next night, unless it's something stupid and sensational like Trump or something like that. But important things, newsworthy things, changes in local infrastructure, changes in local laws, release of violent criminals that nobody paid attention to. None of that gets covered because, oh my God, Trump farted on air. Like, that's all it takes, right? And it's ridiculous. Oh my God, I don't know, Taylor Swift broke up with somebody again and dropped an album. That is not news.
It isn't. It isn't. And among the things that were newsworthy was the actual release. And now that there were millions and millions and millions of pages of the Trump tax returns, and they had to boil them down. But now that people, they've had teams of people poring over all of the records. The first thing that came out is that Trump basically paid zero taxes in a number of the years while he was in office. In 2 years, he paid only $750 in taxes. Every year since I've been paying taxes, I paid more than $750. Right. And I make nowhere near.
Right. I paid more than that in my first job out of college.
That's what I'm saying. And I had to pay my own FICA. So I got the double hit because I was independent.
The IRS will come looking for your lower middle class ass in a heartbeat over $80. Right.
And charge you interest.
And
penalties. So meanwhile, you got Trump. And Trump's talking about, this is a very dangerous president. It's going to be weaponized. The only person it's weaponized against, and what about Obama? Yeah, all of Obama's, all of his tax returns out.
Yeah.
Before office and every year. He didn't even get audited. He was supposed to get audited in office. Didn't get audited. Oh, well, we were busy looking at TikTok memes. Yeah, it's
have the disclaimer. Oh, this is for entertainment purpose. You know what? What is it? The ones that got sued and it was like, we're entertainment. Fox.
Fox.
That they are not the news. They're an entertainment show.
Well, and because Sean Hannity has been deposed again by the company that manufactured the software in those voting machines. It's like, that's a $1.5 billion lawsuit. It's a $1.5 billion lawsuit. And
that's 1,000 millions.
Exactly. 1,000 millions, 1,500 millions.
Yes.
It's a lot. Almost just about as much as the Mega Millions.
Bruh, I actually bought the ticket.
Get your tickets. Get your tickets.
I tried the Charlie the Chocolate Factory version. Like, we just get one ticket.
Right, just one.
Oh,
just
damn.
One. Yeah, I hope I got a golden ticket for real. I really do, because that would be a wonderful thing. But here we are here not just to talk about golden tickets and other tickets and ticketry. What is going on in your part of the world? In my part of the world, it's all about rain. What's going on in your part of the world, Joy?
We had a tornado in Atlanta. Please
in Atlanta, within the city limits?
Within 285, bro. The world is ending, and the weather is going to take us out. You flood, snowmageddon, rain, heat. We can do all of that. A tornado, though?
That's a lot.
Like, people like, I hear a train. Yeah, what? My God. Like, it had happened quick. Now, I will say this. It didn't like really touch down and travel. It was just tornado force winds in a cyclone in an area. But bro, we had a tornado in Atlanta.
That's insane. I don't know how many people have traveled to LA and seen the Los Angeles River that runs through. Most of the time, it's a concrete trough that can be used for movies like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and stuff like that. You've seen countless movies where even in Greece, they drove through the downtown, driving through this big concrete thing. You wonder why there's a concrete canyon in the middle of Los Angeles. That's because it's the LA River. Never does the LA River get full. And I was driving after I dropped my son off to school, and I had to pull over because that concrete surf park all of a sudden was the Mississippi.
Yo,
it was how many so high,
millions of gallons of water that is.
Just whoosh, 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 and
a millions.
Well, it's a mixed bag because, of course, we're always struck with drought here in Southern.
And that water doesn't serve the soil.
No.
It just drains right through it. It'll flood, drain away because the soil is too dry. Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, we've had really 2 weeks, but last week it was like every day we were just getting pelted with sheets of rain, not little sprinkles, the big drops where your washer's like,
yeah.
we had that kind of rain, and we don't get it very often. It usually happens in winter. But the problem is if we had one day like that every week,
it would change the whole.
Great.
Yeah.
But you can't have 8 days in a row in Los Angeles.
No.
There's just nothing that is just there to support it. All of a sudden, you're in that same dip that you used to drive coming out of your little subdivision, and now you're in 2 feet of water. It's like,
exactly.
You just can't do it. And the commenters are saying it feels like judgment. Don't let the moon go the color of sackcloth. Just don't do that. And no frogs, please. Locusts, stay away.
So okay. I don't know if you know this, and I know a lot of obscure things for no reason, but all of those plagues happen in the order that they would happen if a volcano erupted. Maybe let's call it 1,000 miles away. So the first thing is heavy amounts of sulfur and iron oxide getting into the water, turn the river to blood. It's not blood, it's red, right? And then the locusts and the frogs and the rest follow because they're fleeing the heat, the ash, etc., coming your way, right? And once they start to swarm, they're gonna swarm is what they do. Then you have the sores and the boils, etc., which you have the sores and the boils, etc., which is again a reaction to the chemicals in the air. The pollutants in the air, the sky turning dark, that's the ash cloud, etc. All of those things follow that path. Even, and I think I was watching a documentary about the reality of Moses, because there are ancient African, like Sanskrit on the wall. Like there's a temple that tells the story from the Pharaoh's point of view. And all the firstborn sons in Egypt did die, but they weren't house to house, as is told in the Bible. They were in the habit of raising all the firstborn sons together, like a cohort, and they all slept in the same room. Sulfur from that same type of volcanic eruption would be heavier than air and would go into the lowest places. And they had those boys, according to the story, sleeping on a lower floor, and they suffocated all at once. Bible and science.
Teaching stuff.
And so California, if you see red water, out. Yes, because it will be a biblical plague. Yeah. And it doesn't mean God hates you. It means a volcano erupted somewhere.
Well, I mean, I'm already feeling that our biblical plague is Kevin McCarthy, but
yes.
I'm gonna let that go.
I mean, I do believe that Trump is the Antichrist.
Well, there's that.
There's that. I want to remind you that I did say at the top of the show, views do not represent. This is a character. Okay.
That's just her.
These just stories. It's just jokes. Okay.
Just jokes. I was one of the things I like to do, obviously, in prepping for the show is to scroll through social media. And one of the things that you see on a Founders Day is, of course, a lot of posts from other people. But I saw a post about a woman who was perping Delta Sigma Theta. And when I tell you she had 6 different profile photos, all with the frame, it's like you bold as hell to be posting on Founders Day with a frame.
She's trying to hide in plain sight. She's like,
nobody's
going to believe I'm not a Delta because I do what non-Delta would be so bold. Girl, I hope they catch you.
I mean, and she was a publicist, a PR flack. One of them was. And so over her low profile picture, pyramids and diamonds don't give an F.
Yeah.
Herp. Herp.
She done it to herself.
I mean, you played yourself.
You played yourself.
You played yourself. You really did.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had, and we're going to pivot to another thing that was huge news this week. I wish we didn't live in a country where our politics was so easy to turn into entertainment.
Yes.
But one of the things that caught my attention this week was Prince Harry, Harry Sussex, who is releasing a book called Spare. Now I don't know if everybody immediately understands. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but the pun is an heir and a spare. So if you're in the British royal family, you need an heir, so a boy, and then you also need a replacement in case something happens to that boy. And so Harry is
common amongst
spare.
all landed lords to have an heir and a spare. And
right.
Then if the heir didn't die, then the spare went to the monastery or what have you.
Yeah,
which ultimately led to the idea that priests could not marry, because if the heir did die and the second one was already a priest, then when he died, the church got all their land.
Yeah, they
evil. Okay,
yeah.
I would say,
well, no, but it's true. And back then, if you were second in line, the primogeniture meant that the first son got everything. There was nothing left for you. Like if he was nice, if you guys had a good relationship, he might give you a house. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You could stay somewhere, but to Joy's point, a lot of those guys became vicars because nobody wanted to marry the other one.
Right. What you often would see would be, say, a second son that had the land and the title marry some merchant's daughter who had the money but no aristocracy, creating the bourgeoisie class.
Exactly.
The new money.
All of these things factored into Harry's situation, and it's really a horrible thing when you think about it. These guys brought up under a spotlight, their mother basically murdered by the press, and he makes some revelations in the book that they in fact did not even believe that she was dead. They thought she had just disappeared to take the pressure off. And it took them seeing the photos of the crash site, recognizing that it was her body, and actually going to the crash site before Harry and William were able to admit, wow, she's not coming back. She really is dead. And they had made a pact that they wouldn't allow the press to divide them in the way that they had seen the press operate with other people in the family.
And how's that going?
Their offices, because the British press is monstrous, and so they have these relationships with the royal family. We need stories to keep you in the eye and to keep you popular, and that's how we trade off. We quash stories you don't want out there. You got to give us stories to replace the stories that we could run with, Prince Andrew. So what ended up happening is that either through pressure, Harry seems to think that it's a decision that William came to on his own, but perhaps also from pressure from his father, they decided they were going to make Meghan Markle the target. And so their offices, as opposed to working in conjunction and, maybe Will's people saying, look, this is a hit piece that's fixing to come out. What can we do? They just let them attack. And, Meghan and Kate, it's a fight, and Meghan's a bitch, and she said this about Kate, and da-da-da-da-da. And so it really drove a wedge. And it has to be said that, Harry has made some very ill-advised decisions, dressing up like a Nazi, being a member of the royal family who didn't have any real appreciation for how regular folks lived until he went into active military service and was hanging out with some people who were just regular folks. And he was Harry, flying combat missions, shooting guns, doing stuff. And it really brought him a different perspective. And it sounds like I'm kind of fanboying him, but the simple point of fact is that he fell in love with a woman, and he is standing by that woman and gave away what a lot of people wouldn't even contemplate giving away, because he loves his wife, he loves his kids, and he loves them more than he loves his brother and his father right now.
Because let's be real. Look at them. Look at what they've done. Look at how they treated him. Look at what they forced him into. Look at what his father allowed to happen. Look at the
Mm-hmm.
situation. I would escape into middle America too if I could, you know,
I mean,
to save my own sanity. And then to find and marry a woman and fall in love and have beautiful kids with her, etc. I don't want no parts of that for my children, you know. And I understand the whole, they gave up a fortune, blah, 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 blah. And people start over all the time. She got money, you know, they will be all right.
Well, and
I told
he's doing
about these long comments, but I'm gonna put this up anyway.
Ooh,
African version of monarchs is pharaohs. Our pharaohs are far more humanitarian sometimes than the monarchs of Europe, to say the least. The pharaohs on National Geographic TV, the monarchs on HBO, Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. Yes, the pharaohs did see more of the idea of taking care of their larger constituency, if you will. There were also lords and ladies, not necessarily the royals, the king and queen, etc., but a lot of the lords and ladies absolutely took care of their areas. There's a phrase called noblesse oblige, which means the nobles are obligated to take care of the people that live on their land. Not everybody was a jerk. Just like in all the pharaohs, a lot of them were beloved. A lot of them were absolutely hated and potentially murdered in their sleep, right? And let's not forget the pharaohs owned slaves. So we ain't gonna just put them on a pedestal. But there is something to be said for any reigning group that recognizes their own humanity, their own fallacy, and their own ability and necessity to take care of the people that don't have as much as they do, or they're not born into the same station, you know?
So wait, Mike Bartlett, now you have to think about this. Mike says, these royal family trees looking awfully straight.
I mean, they do be their own grandmama sometimes, you know?
I mean, this is a family tree. This is a family me.
Their family tree be looking like gang signs. Wait, this is recent history. As a matter of fact, weren't they cousins?
Well, okay, so Philip was a descendant of.
I'm waiting for you to say they're cousins, because they were.
Oh, well, yes. I mean, cousins in the sense. Yeah, I'm not gonna clean it up. Yeah,
cousins.
They's cousins. It was just nasty. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why he didn't like.
I don't even know how I'm really related to them, but I don't want to date them.
Yeah, no, they cousins.
I did not know this, that Camilla and Charles are cousins.
Of course.
You ain't got, man, hit a dating app. You ain't got nobody else out there other than your cousins. Stay out the family reunion, right?
Yeah, the royal family isn't on Hinge; they're on Cringe.
Yuck.
How close a cousin she?
Mm-hmm. That's why he got them ears. Again, views. No.
Pointy head, ears, Vulcan adjacent. Oh, they keeping the blood blue, all right. They keeping it
blue blood. You know what? I'm not even gonna go into another stupid fact, but the mom.
You know who's not cousins?
Mm-hmm.
You know who's not cousins? Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, and Harry and Meghan.
Harry and Meghan are not cousins.
Absolutely, positively not cousins.
And Michelle and Barack are not cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the lack of cousinage in the White House.
There's billions of people in the world. Bang someone who's not related to you.
There's only like 8 billion other options.
Mm-hmm.
Wilt Chamberlain couldn't go through that many. I mean, you could say, 8 billion, depending on what your flow is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, did we cover everything you wanted to cover with Santos, or do we want to get back into him?
Let's rephrase.
Do we want to get back into the story of Santos?
I don't actually. The only thing I want to hear about Santos is that charges are being filed, or he has had to run to a non-extradition country.
What charges would potentially be filed if they?
If it's a Ponzi scheme, let's remember, Tish James is in New York, baby.
No, that's actually the old meaning of kissing cousins. That's where it started.
Yes.
Yeah, kissing cousins because you was marrying your relatives. Yeah.
Can we get off the cousins? Just
We trying to get them off the cousins. That's the whole point. Get
yeah.
off the
Well,
cousins.
apparently the only people not trying to get off the cousins is the royal family.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
if it is true that George Santos was a part of a Ponzi scheme, then it would be felony fraud charges.
Yeah, okay.
Against the people that he built of their money.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, he's trying to get out in front of that story and say that it was all legitimate.
Is my picture still up here?
Your picture is still up there. Oh, there it is. Exactly. There's not, come on, bro. You had no income, got evicted, possibly married a woman for the purposes of immigration. You were using campaign money to pay your personal rent. And all of a sudden you just had $700,000 to lend, like in 1 year. Where are the taxes, Santos?
Mm-hmm.
Where are those tax filings, bro? Because the math ain't mathing. And I know his opponent is like, you've got to be fucking kidding me right now.
Right. Although I am interested to know how nobody that opposed him found any of this until now.
Well, but that's, again, like I said at the top of the show, to oppose him. Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. I don't know why the New York Times didn't come at him more forcefully, but they did not. And so here we are. I mean, it's just, it's one of those things where he has now said he will serve out his 2-year term, but he will not run again. I mean, who would vote for him? Nobody's going to vote for him again. Mm-hmm. Well, I take that back. There'll be people who vote for him, maybe the Trumps, but he is not going to be elected again. So the question will be, will there be a filing to remove his House privileges, his House coverage, and all of those sorts of things that he would normally be entitled to upon retirement?
It should be.
Well, it for Madison Cawthorn too, while we're
while we're revoking stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Madison Cawthorn, who is being accused by his successor of completely abandoning his responsibility to turn over constituents' case files, all these sorts of things that a congressperson needs to have in order to effectively serve his constituents. So his successor has had to take to social media like, look, y'all, if y'all had something in Madison's office, please reach out to me, because he ain't giving me nothing now. We can't do
we
nothing.
now have an open call for any and all documents. Like, really, will there be one?
Yeah, please. Won't you come?
Won't you come?
Won't you come to my congressional office?
But you know what? And Gregory McFadden has a good point. He's like, if Santos was really a minority, he would have been gone with charges to follow. That lets you know that all the claims of biracial, et cetera, nah. Because I'm trying to think of somebody. Let Hakeem Jeffries try that, right?
Oh. Let
what's the other boy? Little bald-headed dude that dated Rosario Dawson for a minute.
Oh, Cory Booker.
Yeah, let him try that. That's kind of sad that I couldn't remember his name. I can remember who he dated.
Well,
and that's part of the problem with the 24-hour news cycle.
Well, but it's also part of the problem with an underrepresentation in Democratic leadership. Because if Cory Booker actually was a bench warmer to succeed to the line of the presidency, you wouldn't have any problem recalling him. Right. But there is no bench. Well, Hakeem Jeffries is the bench now, basically, because he's the new star.
Yes.
And so we'll see how he does as a minority leader in the House. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. But Santos, actually, as a Brazilian, it is possible, because they have that whole class of Brazilians with the different levels of mixedness and all that. Like he possibly in America, he probably would be considered a minority technically, because the one drop rule. But
it's very likely that he may be related to, descended from those 1,000 or so Confederate soldiers that went down to Brazil after the Civil War.
Don't give him that. Could prop him up. Don't do that.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah,
Erase.
no.
Back that up.
Yeah, back that ass up. So it is, here he would be considered a minority, but certainly not the same minority. And Mike said Tim Scott wouldn't get charges either. And Tim Scott is obviously Black. Now, Tim Scott did have trouble getting into the Senate because the Senate officer wasn't sure that his badge was real.
I don't know you, boy. That's paraphrasing the way that went.
Yeah, but basically, that's what it was. He was like,
right. Master said, I could go in. I got my papers.
I got my papers. And somebody, are you an idiot? This is a senator, a United States senator. You need to chill.
Real lies.
Yeah. Are you sure? Look at him. And that's where we are as a country right now. Wow, we're at 52 minutes, Julian. That's pretty amazing. I was listening to a podcast today. I don't know how many of you listen to 538, but it's one of my favorite podcasts. And they were talking today. It was a rerun of a series of episodes that they ran in 2020 about the primary system and how the primary system is structured in this country and how the primary system got us to where we are today. And they were comparing our primary system to other systems across the world to see how inclusive those other systems were, how effective they were in determining. And there's a gentleman who created a rubric about the efficacy of the primary system and how exclusive versus inclusive it was, whether or not the elected officials effectively responded to the needs of their constituents, and et cetera, et cetera. And so what they were saying is that Norway has the most exclusive primary system because only the heads of the party choose the candidates. There's no like, oh, I'm Björgensen and I'm going to run for, this thing. Nope. The party says, Joy, you're going to go. We pick you. And that's it. And so, the different parties select the people that they want. And of course, one of the points of the podcast is that in most of these other countries, the parliamentary sequence of government, there are many, many parties. So if you are a conservative and you might go this way, but if they piss you off, you can go to another almost equally or perhaps even more conservative party and still get your swerve on. In the United States, if you don't like the GOP, I mean, you could vote Libertarian, I guess. You ain't gonna elect nobody.
Right. You got two choices. Patrice brings up a good point that new Representative Sidney Kamlager, I forget exactly which way that goes, was stopped and questioned about whether she was a Congress member, even while she had her badge on. Now, if you don't know what she looks like, imagine, if you will, if what is that girl's name? Olivia Pope was a little nerdier. That's what she looks like. Let me see if I can find a picture of her.
No. You keep talking. I'm gonna find it.
Okay. And this again goes to the ever-present and insidious existence of white supremacy. It wasn't that she didn't have her badge on. It wasn't that she was inappropriately dressed, that she was in the wrong place. It's that she didn't look like a leader of the country is supposed to look. She was way too much woman, way too much Black to be in charge of anything, according to the people that possibly have been sitting there watching people come in and out of there for the last 20, 30, 40 years. You don't look right. I question this because you don't fit the archetype. You see that in the government. You see that in hospitals. I have a friend who routinely gets asked, are you the nurse? She has been a premier world-class doctor, neonatologist actually, for the last 20 years. I know you didn't just call me a damn candy striper, right? You see it in corporate places. You're a partner in a law firm, but you can't catch a cab downtown, right? All sorts of nonsense like that. Did you find her picture yet?
I did. And let me just say, you gave a very good description of her. And here's the thing, because I'm about to put it up now. It's not even that she's so black. Like,
no,
this is her,
mm-hmm.
right? And you know she was wearing a little smart little jacket or whatever with her pen, and you know, look at her. She looks like a, you know, a person who would work in government. I don't know how to say. I mean, this is who she is.
Right.
She can represent me.
Let me see if I can find the picture that I said I was like, this is why she looks like.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures where she looks a bit younger.
Yeah. This is nerdy Olivia Pope.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, put that back up real quick. Yeah. Oh boy, that's an unfortunate choice of colors. Got a lot of turquoise in there.
Right. She looks like she raided the Mesa with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that she stumbled into the Crate and Barrel Mesa display and came up with the serape, turned it into a suit. Exactly. She looks like a leader to me. Mm-hmm. But not to a person you know, with a hand on his gun and trying to keep people safe.
Right.
I mean, in their defense, there were a bunch of crazy people that literally stormed.
They didn't have badges though.
Bashing people.
She had a badge. She was walking.
Right. And they didn't have bangs either.
Right. Right.
Or turquoise.
Mm. She didn't have no horns on.
No, she did not. She was not the shaman, and probably definitely 700,000% less musty. So we are at I love you staring into space. We are at the point where we have come to the end of another exciting episode.
No, I have some things I want to talk about. We have finished our political scene, and now
good. Yeah, let's get into the after dark stuff.
The after dark fun stuff. So first of all, never forget, yes, we are gathered here today to celebrate. Now that being said,
put it back up, because when you posted this on your timeline, or actually a couple of people I saw it on timeline, I was like, what a way to celebrate Prince. By having him as the avatar of excellence for the Deltas, but in that badass suit.
That's the baddest red suit I ever seen in my life. And I know that he's probably looking at us like, but he ain't mad though. But he is side-eyeing us. But he ain't mad. Yeah.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Alexa word life. Means forever. And that's not a long time, but I'm here to tell you.
And happy Founders Day to you on the 15th, because it'll be almost a week gone when we have our next show. But so Founders Day happened. Also, there's something coming up for all of my geeks and comic book fans. There is an artist. Her name is Afua Richardson. Okay. And if you're not familiar with her, she's excellent. Remember Lovecraft Country we were all in love with so long ago? And in that movie, in that show, there was when Hippolyta took a little journey off into space, and they had that like mock-up comic book about.
So she's the artist behind that.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a signed like?
Yes, she was at Dragon Con here in Atlanta, and I got 6 signed copies of her artwork, and I'm framing them, putting them all up. But the reason I bring her up is she is going to be the artist. She is the artist for the cover of Marvel's Black History Month.
That is
Wakanda Forever, Black Voices. Yeah, I follow her on Facebook, so I snagged her whole Facebook post. This is her cover for Black History Month. It drops on February 15th.
That is amazing.
So I want everybody, even if you don't buy comic books, if you got a kid under the age of 20, go get them that. So they recognize excellence and support Black artists. Marvel continues to get it righter. I won't say right, but righter than them other ones.
if we're going into nerdy people that we know and respect, I have to say, if you are an acolyte of the vampire genre, you must grab Philadelphia. They have a bound edition. It's an omnibus of, I think, the first 12 issues of the series. It's gone well beyond that. But Rodney Barnes, who is a friend, former Jack and Jill family friend, takes vampirism all the way back to the beginning of our country. And so he asserts in his mythology that there were presidents that were vampires. And we open the show, it's in the series in modern times, and there's a cop in Philadelphia and his dad has been turned. It's a lot, but excellent, stunning visuals, writing. He's an award-winning comic book writer. He has a new series that's about to come out. And if you want to pre-order, since we're talking, he loves the vampire genre. He does a lot of stuff, but he loves the vampire genre. Also wrote that HBO series about the Lakers. What? And Showtime.
Okay.
The fictionalized account with during the Magic Johnson era.
All that. I was confused for a second.
Super popular, yeah. And he was also the showrunner for the first season of American Gods. You know, that awesome, amazing first season of American Gods. Yeah, the good season of American Gods. But he has written a new comic book that is an update on the vampire genre, headlined by Blackula. He has revisioned Blackula, y'all, and it is available on Amazon, as is the first anthology collection of Philadelphia. Look for Philadelphia, spelled like your mama would spell it, and Blackula, and you will find it under graphic novels. Blackula actually drops on January 28th. Philadelphia is already out. I got my copy.
And these are omnibus comic book collections.
These are bound things. These aren't individual comic books. They're available as individual comic books, but the Blackula is a book. Philadelphia is an ongoing comic book series. He also has a collaboration with another young woman with a Black female protagonist. I can't recall the name because it's a long name. It's like the Terrifying Notebook of Jenny Jenkins.
Oh, so it's called Winning Time, and HBO says HBO refused to call it Showtime because that's a little too.
Oh, of course, duh.
And I want to give a shout out to my friend. This is Tangeria Willis. She owns a high-end consignment shop here in Atlanta called E-Closet. It's also online. It's just like it's spelled.
That's her name.
OZET, E-Closet. Now, the reason I'm shouting her out is she giving discounts, y'all. So for until midnight tonight, anything that you buy on her site, if you are a Delta, you can use a code. You got to go to E-Closet on Instagram. It's spelled just like that. She got a code for Deltas. Anything you buy that's red and white, you get, I think, 15 to 20% off today for our Founders Day. Doing the same thing for the Ks on the 15th. Doing the same thing on the, 18th? Yeah, for all of the Black Greeks during their founders 24 hours, you get a discount in her shop if you buy something in your colors. So I thought that was pretty cool.
We should have had done this on the show for my day.
My bad. You know, you could buy something red and white and put that code. I'm gonna put that code in. I mean, I know she's probably listening like Joy, but you know, hey, I'm just saying.
That's okay.
And we equal opportunity up in here. Oh!
Wait, what you done did? All right.
Promo code. There it is.
Okay, DST.
Okay, if you buy something red and white today, regardless of style, and you put in DST20, you get 20% off. Oh, it's gonna be pink and green on the 20th though. I mean on the 15th. And Patrice has a point. Men don't shop like women do, and very often women are shopping for you. I know you're not that case, but generally speaking, you know, because you are a fashion.
I had a video. That I posted about all the Nelia I bought over Christmas.
Oh my god!
Because Believe Accessories had a sale, and I was like, "Wait, how much?" Mm-hmm. And I bought it. It's really disgusting. Mm-hmm. My closet looks like a Neo threw up in it.
Bruh. So this sweater that I have on was donated to me by one of my sorority sisters because she gets that Delta box. And it's just
Oh
too much
yeah.
to be wearing all the time. So she's like, girl, I got 3 of these. You want it? I was like, I will take it and wear it proudly. Thank you so much.
Wait, they send the same thing in the Delta box?
What do you mean the same thing?
You said she got 3 of them.
No, she's got 3 sweaters, or
Oh,
she's
3
got
sweaters.
similar
Okay,
in style. She's like, I don't need another one. And I was like, good, with a cute little zip. Yes, ma'am, I'll take that. I got a couple jackets. Anytime it's one of the Deltas that's around my size that don't want something, I'll be like, yo, let me get that. But okay, here's the rest of them. So January 15th, aka 20, January 16th, Zeta 20.
Zeta 20.
Boom. Go get your thing. Get your stuff.
And January 17th, Nuke 20, because I didn't know on the 5th.
You could do any one of these. You could do it today. You can still get your red and white in, your crimson and cream. I mean, one other thing that I wanted to talk about. So we talked about Aqua. Let's not forget a moment of silence, even though I am IDF with her.
Oh.
Now, misguided as I may have thought she was, similar to how I felt about Herman Cain. I don't wish anybody ill. And that woman's life is gone. And a moment of silence. I wish peace and sanity for her family. Everything she said, I didn't agree with nothing that came out of her mouth, but I do wish for healing and recovery for her family. I just wanted to say that because we are not the sort of show that will revel in someone else's misery.
No.
We also, as much as we might not F with you, we don't want to see anybody dead. And I know that, and the reason I'm saying it like this is because I saw a lot of venom and vitriol on the internet from our people because they saw her as, a race traitor. And that phrase, race traitor,
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that people always say you can't say this, is racist. Yeah. You don't have to agree with her. You don't even have to like her. You can not pee on her if she was on fire, if that's your prerogative, but you don't have to malign a dead woman, right? Because she didn't have the power to really negatively affect anything other than to give them something to prop up. And we all saw for what it was, Right. Now, this is different in my view from the people who rejoice at the relative freedom that the loss of a monarch brought to their colonized nations,
right?
Because that was a lot of power that was being turned over, so to speak, or whatever. This woman was just a tragedy that ended in a tragedy.
And I did not realize that they were sisters. And because they were usually, when I paid attention to them, it was in a news clip. And so they were moving all the time. And I was like, oh, they're very similar looking. But I didn't really see until that still picture that you put up. I was like, oh, they really favored each other. I mean, they were like sisters. They looked almost the same. And that's why when you posted it originally, I was like, which one is Diamond? I legitimately did not know. And it was the one on the left. But it is not a happy thing to see the passing of a person, any person.
It didn't do you any harm, really,
It's just, it's unfortunate that that's the way she came to national prominence.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I think that's a fair way to put it.
Last thing I want to touch on, and this is about to be a shameless plugging for both of us, is as far as we talk about passing the torch. Wait, before I do this, I do want to go back because Chan made a comment because he's silly, but he's also not wrong. Where them Harriet Tubman 20s at?
Yeah, I thought that Trump's Treasury Secretary actually kind of pressed pause on that, but now
they probably melted the plates.
Yeah,
let's be real. Right.
Gave him to George Santos.
Won't be doing this on my watch. Yeah, I could totally see that. They gave him to Santos.
Yeah,
that's how he printed his $700,000.
He printed up his $700,000
on
tubbies. He got them tubbies. I got them tubbies.
Float me a tub.
Yeah, floating on tubs. Yeah, that is a good point. We will get them. We will get them. You will see.
But I mentioned, the end of an era, the passing of the torch, so to speak. So the end of the era on the Daily Show is that Trevor Noah is no longer the host. Left under good terms, off to do bigger and better and different things. And so now they are doing multiple different hosts on the show. And the lineup, from what I understand, for January is like this. This is the blackest thing I ever seen. Really? You're going to let these people talk out loud on the show?
Well, DL is a personal friend, and he does a really great show. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who may have missed, if you grew up knowing him from Def Comedy Jam, where he was absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. He's the real deal. But he's grown as a man, as a husband, as a father. And so his commentary now as a talk show host, he has a daily radio show. And unlike other morning shows, which are jokes and celebrity interviews and stuff, he does a lot of insightful stuff. And his social media is really on point. He's really on top of a wide range of articles dealing with Black things. And if you have missed it, he has an excellent documentary about the school to prison pipeline that you would not expect. You would not expect a Black comedian to put together such an amazing and insightful piece of film.
I remember when he did a fake documentary about declaring Black men an endangered species.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they fit the criteria, but nobody wanted to admit that. It was really telling. It got me into something else that I did when I compared Black men to sharks. And how sharks be living their life, but because we've decided that they're dangerous, we hunt them, we hang them up to show. We disrespect their breeding and living grounds, and they really are almost zero threat to humans. We made a movie about it, Birth of a Nation, and decided that was true, and now we have to be scared all the time. Wanda Sykes is also hilarious too. Roy Wood is going to be hosting as well. But I wasn't talking about DL when I put this picture up, bruh. Leslie
Jones.
Leslie cannot be trusted with a microphone. I love Leslie like family. Understand that. But I can't wait to see what she says with her mouth.
It's gonna be an interesting thing. Roy, FAMU alum, has been a regular contributor for years. Amber Ruffin ended up getting her own show.
I would love to see her. Not necessarily I'm gonna keep it where she at. I wasn't gonna say I would love to see her move up to being a Daily Show host because the audience is bigger, but at the same time, her show is unapologetically Black.
Right. Yeah. In a way that the Daily Show could not. Even hosted by Trevor Noah.
Incidentally, if you get a chance, she and her sister Lacey Lamar have another book out, and it's called, I think, the 100 Most Racist Things World Record book. And it is amazing. Get the audiobook version because she and her sister narrate it. It's like listening to a podcast. It's awesome. No,
that's better. Yeah, I'm sure
it's
that's
awesome. And they're funny. They are hilarious. And the stories are good and real. And oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. But then that happened to my cousin too. Like, it's really good. Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited. One thing that we did not talk about, which I guess we could because we're into media now, is the Golden Globes. And
just as a side note, we got two more people that could host the Daily Show. I'm just saying. Audition, throw them some sizzle reel. Yes.
And you wouldn't even need to change your lighting pattern because we both very Trevor Noah adjacent.
Yes, we're in the same palette.
I'm just saying,
you already got my foundation, right?
And I can do accents as well. And I sing.
You do sing.
I do sing. I sing. Speaking of which, I'm going to load this up because this is something that gave me joy. But the Golden Globes, I was very pleased to see one of my favorite shows, Abbott Elementary, was a big winner again.
Yes, that show is amazing.
It's an amazing show. She got Best Actress, and
Quentin.
Everybody Hates Chris got Best Supporting.
I love that people keep calling him Everybody Hates Chris.
I know his name it's Tyler.
Tyler something. Jones something.
No, it's not Tyler Jones.
Everybody Hates Chris. I loved it when he died on his very short run on Walking Dead, and the hashtag was Everybody Ate Chris. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's That's bloody clever. That's clever. But there are, speaking of singing, there's an excellent little clip. There's a minister and a producer, a Grammy-winning producer named Jay Moss, and he has this little musical clip, which, you know, I can look at it on Instagram. But one of the pieces of controversy on the Golden Globes, while I pull up this other little thing, a piece of controversy on the Golden Globes was Jared Carmichael and a joke he made at the expense of Whitney Houston. And I'm not going to say the joke, but because you can Google it, but it wasn't, to me, as much a swipe. It was just one of those things where you ain't had to do that. Right. It was just a tasteless joke that wasn't funny. You did not have to do that at all. And but you ended up doing it. And so I guess good luck, bro. Yeah, that happened. But it was very nice to see what we were able to do in terms of recognizing the talent of our people. Zendaya, again, Best Actress for Euphoria, which is as really impressed with 3 teenagers, is more frightening than any horror movie other than, let's say, the Trump presidency. So it's really amazing to see what we as a people are doing and how we are finally receiving the measures of notoriety that we have long been denied. The flowers we deserve. The flowers, as they say, give them their flowers. And this is interesting. The Pocket Queen is here, but I don't see the video that has absolutely been giving me life. This brother, the name of the track is Latin Cool Vibes, and this brother from Pajam, his last name is Moss, and he got on there and he just started freestyling over the track. And when I tell you, it is the hottest track of 2022. So many people are remixing it on Instagram and TikTok. And basically, you know how usually when something like this goes viral, what you get is a bunch of videos of people reacting. Trying to harmonize with it. But in this particular thing, it's just one of those things where it's like, nah, don't nobody do nothing. Just sit and watch. Just watch. Just do this. Just watch this thing and let this thing be a thing. And I do not know why I can't find it. But we'll get it. I downloaded it. We'll get it for next week, because it'll still be excellent next week as well. Okay. What did you have anything else? I was going to show that Trey Crowder rant that I put in our group. Oh yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up with that and make sure that's right. And then do this. Haha, I'm learning. There we go. Where is the sound? There we go.
No time in blaming Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg for it. They called him incompetent and unqualified. Lauren Boebert did so in middle school bully fashion, saying the only thing Pete was qualified for is sucking, because he's a gay man and they are grotesquely infantile. But they were all doing it. They said that Pete, like every member of the Biden administration, was hired to check a box and not because of actual qualifications. Y'all, it continues to astound me just how adept these people are at the art of projection. They are the pot calling the kettle black champions of the world, except in this case, the kettle's rainbow colored and the pot's a racist dumbass. But you know what I mean? They do it all the time. They're like, Democrats just have to politicize everything, and their hateful, divisive rhetoric is threatening our democracy. I hear that and I'm like, dude, that'd be like my cat accusing me of tearing the curtains up and shoving my butthole in everybody's face. Like, it's pretty audacious. And they're doing it now. Like, Republicans talking about qualifications, really? The same people who elected a reality TV business cartoon as president, and someone like Boebert, who is objectively unqualified to run a dishwasher, to the halls of Congress, are talking about qualifications. Do they remember the Trump administration? They didn't care about qualifications. Here's a list of qualifications that were considered under the Trump administration. All right. Writing Trump a check, filleting Trump on the internet, complimenting Trump's backswing, being rich enough, being white enough, inventing new and exciting types of bigotry, marrying the right person, having the right papaw, marrying a person who has the right papaw, and so on. Okay, it wasn't about qualification. Some of Trump's appointees were so laughably unqualified, it sounds like you're making them up. He replaced an MIT physicist as Secretary of Energy with a sentient cowboy hat who forgot the name of the agency and then admitted he didn't know nukes were a thing there. Trump's education secretary was a pyramid scheme queen who said guns were needed in schools because of bears. And it didn't stop with them. Under Trump, the list went on and on. Miller, Gorka, Kushner, his purse dog of a daughter, nary a qualification betwixt them, right? But they were hired because they checked the right boxes. But when they talk about Biden, they mean different boxes, right? Because even though Mayor Pete was a Harvard Rhodes Scholar, they say that he and all Biden appointees were picked for diversity reasons, because it doesn't occur to these people that someone can be both a minority and eminently qualified, right? It's antithetical to them. These people see a picture of Trump's cabinet and it looks like a bunch of NPCs from a Ronald Reagan video game, and they go, now those are some highly qualified professionals. They see a picture of Biden's cabinet and it represents every ethnicity and orientation, and they go, well, this is clearly some virtue signaling, affirmative action stuff. These people don't know what they're doing, because that's just how their brains work, which I think kind of tells you all you need to know about them. Love y'all. Well,
We're both muted. Okay.
So if you don't follow Trey Crowder on Instagram or Facebook, you really should. I love the intelligence mixed with the Southern accent. It just soothes my soul. I love to hear him talk.
I like the way you talk.
You talk good. But he's 100%. He's 100% real every time. And I love that he exists, and that there's someone who ostensibly was potentially raised in an environment that would have led him down a very different road, has found his way out of that to become a very loud voice to push back against the oppression. And I love Trey Crowder for doing that. Also, his rants are mwah. And so,
yeah, that was epic. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to take some notes. I'm gonna have to refine some future rants to give that amount of offhand, effortlessly offered backhand shade. That was pretty amazing.
He called her a purse dog of a daughter.
Purse dog. Purse dog of a daughter should be a t-shirt. I have found the clip.
There you go.
And because it is everything, I want you to lean to the side, Joy. Lean to the other side so we can watch it in the middle together. Okay, Here we go. This song is the bomb.
You looking at me? Jam, baby. I ain't going nowhere. Chilling right here. Me and her and pretend on the track, chilling with the pocket queen. No, you weren't expecting this, so not like this. Nah, to the hook now. Ain't that like when I sing freestyle? Ain't that like when I do it 3 times? You didn't even do the best, You didn't even do the best, The mic and the melody comes on, the rhythm to hold on. We can't let it go, no. Ain't that like when I do it 3 times?
Woo!
Yo, when does that drop? I need that.
Well, so here's the thing. Latin chill vibes, that was Hunter and the Pocket Queen. Those were the people, the keys and the drums, percussion. That song as a song with his vocals is not a song. It's just a TikTok remix.
It can be a song though. If Sway the remix god can be putting all these songs out.
No, it needs to be a song, because I was like, I just need the extra verse.
Yes. I just need him doing runs over the song.
Right here.
Because I don't know what he said, but I know I did like the. So
he was, what he was saying in that.
He can pull a supersonic. I don't care.
Says you think that you're the baddest. Nuh-uh. You ain't even better than this. You ain't even better than this. My mic, when the melody comes on, the rhythm it holds on, we can't let it go. No.
You did watch that a lot.
All those incredible melismas. Yeah. It is Crimsonite. It's amazing. I sat there and I just let it go because I was trying to get all the lyrics together. So I watched it like 20 times in a row and it never got old. And just to see the Pocket Queen sitting there like.
Right. And having a ball.
Yeah, I mean, and the keyboard is just like.
Yeah. I mean, that's how magic is made, is by accident. When 3 different levels of excellence combine like Voltron, and you get a song like this. And yes, I know Voltron had 5, but that's awesome. I hope they turn that. I hope something comes of that. The same way. Remember the girl, the good lady who did, what was it? I want to go lay down.
Oh yeah.
And that was like a whole year. We even did. We used that as part of a tribute.
We did our own lay down thing. We sure did.
Yeah, I want this to take off like that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's getting hundreds of thousands of views, and it's being remixed by everybody. It's just a super popular thing because that falsetto is just incomparable.
Maxwell level right there.
Oh yeah, no, he hit some notes after that, and the Pocket Queen with the. I just had to do the octave because he pops it up. There was some on some Take 6 shit, but
yes,
just the vibe, just the complete vibe.
Is
there anything else we need to do in the show? Is the question though?
Yes, for those of you who are still with us at this 1 hour and 27-minute mark, if you would like
more viewers,
we have more now than we did then. If you would like to be a guest on the show, hit us up at steelsharpenshow@gmail.com.
Steel Sharpens Show.
As you may have seen recently, the Wonder Twins are holding it down for the show. And that is due in no fault to our other 2 co-hosts. It's just they got a lot going on right
circumstances.
Now. And they got a lot going on for the foreseeable future.
And Chuck was actually at the Rosewood commemoration ceremony today near the University of Florida. So he is in transit, which is why he wasn't able to join us. But there for a good, definitely
for a good reason. Yeah.
It's just sometimes it doesn't work out. And like we said, what to put in the subject line.
Yes, Mike, come through. I want to be on the show.
I want to be on the show.
Right.
Or co-host.
Right.
Or hashtag hire me.
Right.
And anything like that. I can tell you that the salary is sketchy, but the benefits are that you get to converse with wonderful people every week.
Right. You earn exposure.
Yes. Also, this is legit like a means of therapy.
Absolutely, it is
for me.
Yeah, we do this show because we love doing this show. Sometimes we're just, everybody's exhausted and busy and we're tired and we have to take a break. We took a break over Christmas, etc. And then we miss each other. And we're like, I can't wait to get back and see my friends online, etc. And we sorely miss our other 2 because we had a good chemistry, right?
Very much so.
And Erica, I was wondering when you would get to that. She's like, why is everybody wearing red, girl? Thank you, ma'am. And happy Founders Day to you in 2 days. But yeah. Look, Anthony over here volunteering people. Mike, Chan already turned us down.
Yeah, Chan said he ain't doing it.
Yeah, Patrice would love to have you on the show. Erica would love to have you on the show too if you want to come play with us.
Please.
I think it would be great. I don't know. We are actively looking for guest hosts, similar to what the Daily Show is doing. We're doing the same thing. So and if you want to be, also send us a headshot that we can use for you so we can pump that up when we do our promo for the week.
That's right. And also any percussionists and keyboardists who want to do freestyle sessions on the show.
Right. Don't think we won't when we will, because Tom is forever like, no, you don't want to hear me sing. You want to check it for me?
I don't know where, chilling out there.
I forgot Erica is a psychiatrist. She's like, count me in, but no, not doing therapy.
No, it's just
Yes, ma'am.
therapeutic being on the show.
Right.
We're
Right.
not
We're
going to
not
be
looking
taking
for service.
audience questions about
No.
traumas and things.
No, we're just here to be funny, silly, and informative.
That's it.
Yes, and look at Anthony with the commercial, because you know Anthony and CJ were on the show once before. You get a great appreciation of what the panel does, the work that goes into this in the background, and it's a lot of fun. And all the comments that y'all like to run through, you know, yes, if you've commented more than 3 times tonight, you are perfect for the show. Come in and give us your entire earful, you know.
Stop front end.
Thank you, Ursula. Mm-hmm.
What were those emojis? You know,
Happy
those
face.
are smiley face emojis.
Yes. Okay. It's like Erica's avatar is a smiley face. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Erica smiles all the time.
Well, all right, Erica. Show them Tifas on the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We smile too.
Yeah, yeah. With that, we have reached that 1 hour and 30-minute
mark.
Yes. So
we
put in our time tonight. We really appreciate everyone being here on this ride with us. We will be back next week. Drop us an email if you'd like to be on the show. Again, Steel Sharpens
Show.
Sharpens Show.
The show.
Yes. Steel Sharpens Show at gmail.com, or shoot us something over Facebook Messenger to the Steel Sharpens Steel page.
Or directly to us. We know a lot of y'all. Y'all could hit the Facebook Messenger.
Just DM me.
Yeah, if you got my phone number, you could send a text.
Yeah.
We'll get you.
We'd love to have you. We're trying to do guest hosts through the summer.
Yep. So is.
You can come. You can be here multiple times. Be like, I want to come back. All right, bring it.
Yeah. We got pitch meetings and everything. Mm-hmm. All right, people. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. And that's the show.
That's the show. And so since it's J13, I will start off by saying I am Joy Stevens.
And I'm Tom Cunningham. And
this
has
been Steel
Sharpens Steel.